77038. Text 832-466-8414. Bars Iris Floral delivers fresh flowers fast.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning. You are tuned in to today's Entrepreneur. I am Orlando Daniels, and I have with me on today, or sharing this morning, Mr. Justin Defner of Defner Photography. And I have had a wonderful opportunity of seeing not only some of the photographs that he took at an event that I was able to broadcast from this weekend for the Roy Harris Classic out in Montgomery County Fairgrounds. I had never been in that area and had an opportunity to actually watch him work. I watched him work, but then also I was able to utilize some of the pictures that he took for the event, and we were able to use it for the show. So I invited him on, wanted to give him a platform to share a little bit about his business and all that he does. He is actually let me not do this. Let me let him tell you about him. Mr. Justin Defner, tell those who are listening to today's Entrepreneur 91.1, the Boss listeners, all about your business and your services.
Yes, sir. So as you guys know, my name is Justin Defner. I'm a sports photographer local to Conroe, the Woodlands, Magnolia area. Mostly I do action and sports photography. So a lot of people, they want pictures of their athletes, but most photographers, they want to take the pictures where the athletes are posed. They put them in front of a green screen. They say, tilt your body this way, look at the camera, smile. I don't do that. I capture the athletes in the moment. So if it's a boxer, I catch them as they're throwing the knockout punch. If it's somebody fencing, I catch them as they go for that lunge. I like to catch the athletes in the moment when they have that emotion on their face as they're doing what they love.
How important is it to catch or get the perfect shot?
I'd say it's probably the most important thing that I do.
I saw, actually, we have some up on the screen. This gentleman is actually, I'm assuming he's flipping. I didn't know if it was martial arts or it was gymnastics, because I've gotten an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you as we've gotten a chance to share that you are actually in gymnastics, you're into martial arts, you're into other things outside of being a photographer. So we got quite a few pictures up here, and tell us about this picture that is showing now.
Yeah, so there's a group called the Armored Combat League, and basically think MMA but with medieval knights. And this was down in the Houston area. They had this big tournament, and people were flying in from around the country. And people were picking up actual swords and shields. I mean, those are actual steel swords. That's real armor. And they were just going at it. And man, that was fun to watch.
Okay, so I want you to explain this again. You said it's like MMA, correct?
Correct.
UFC kind of style of fighting. So to me, this looks like what is the Renaissance Festival that comes in? I'm thinking it's something like that. But so this is an actual sport.
Yes, it's an actual sport. Those are actual fights. Nothing is choreographed. So they're bashing each other with the swords. Some of them were hitting each other in the face with the shields, and I saw a couple people kicking other knights down, and it was pretty fascinating to watch. It's not your everyday sport.
I have been a sports fan, since I was young. I've been in, playing sports, basketball, football. Actually, I didn't play basketball other than in the neighborhood, but far as, playing for a park or playing for a particular school, football, track, those things were my type of events. But I've never heard of some of the new sport things that are showing up on the scene. I saw recently there's a sport just slapping.
Yeah.
I don't even know the name of it, but you got to take a slap from somebody. So to see someone fighting with shields and swords, and this is now an actual sport
Yep.
that people are competing in, and we know about, night times and things of that nature, but this is just, I'm just blown away. I don't think I would want somebody to hit me in the face with a shield or a sword.
I don't blame you.
Or a sword. But I mean, so what are some of the things that you've seen out of all of the events that you've been able to cover? We know martial arts, boxing, and that's where I met you. And then this new sport thing that you're mentioning. I don't even remember what you said it was, because I'm still trying to grasp and get my head to wrap around. There's a sport where people are literally suiting up like, knights in shining armor and fighting. And this is an actual event. And you said people came from all around the world just for this.
Yes, sir.
So I got to do a little bit more, research. I want to know a little bit more, and hopefully nobody I know is especially if it's my kids, talking about joining any of this. Tell us a little bit about your overall experience, because when I think about photography, we think about just picking up a camera and shooting.
Right.
And I can tell you now, I would fail. I'm not the person. I have trouble with my phone. I have two phones. I just have trouble. I have two phones. I have trouble with this phone, taking pictures, getting people to line up, and it's, so I can imagine the training or the skill set that has to come with being a photographer, especially for what you do, because you just said that many people take the picture, but they have you on the, in front of the green, screen, and just
Right.
taking a shoot, or have you to pose as if we were getting prepared for a wedding, or what is it, Easter, that kind of photography that we see in the malls at Walmart and different places. But your years of experience, and how did you get into action, taking pictures or doing action pictures?
Yeah, so I was an athlete my entire life.
Okay.
From the time that I was in pre-K, I was playing t-ball and then baseball and then fencing, martial arts. I did a little bit of everything. And going on, when I went up to college, I wanted to be a stuntman. Mm-hmm. But I kept getting injured, and so I figured that wasn't the right path. So I wanted to go into film, right? Yeah,
Okay.
The injuries suck. I wanted to go into film, and then the more I did that, the more I learned about, here's how you shoot, this kind of angle if you want to provoke this kind of feeling, right? If you want to make somebody look heroic, you shoot from down here. If you want to make it look this way, you shoot from over here. And the more I did that, the more I, fell in love with just the psychology of it. So I started taking psychology classes as well. So I've got a degree in mass communication and a minor in psychology, focused on social psych.
Okay.
And so I kind of combined those into photography. Film is way more difficult than still photos are.
Okay.
I mean, I thought I was doing good with film, and then I picked up a still, I started doing still photography, and it was so much easier. I was getting so much better results right away.
Okay.
So I just started doing it. I worked at a martial arts studio for the past 2 years, and every time we go to a tournament, instead of competing due to my injuries, I'll take photos. And the more I did it and the more I applied what I've learned, the better those photos turned out.
I tell anybody that whenever you're consistent and in any area, whether it be diet, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're consistent and diligent in any area of life, it will literally yield the desired results.
Oh, 100%.
And you may not arrive to the destination the same way someone else did,
Right.
or have, because some people automatically come in and can do a little bit something a little bit differently than you can, but in you incorporating your degrees and the things that you've learned into your overall business, that says a lot. That actually says a lot. Here's my question. So you're not the person for people to call for weddings,
No,
unless
God,
they're going to
no.
be doing this, unless they're going to be, because weddings have changed too. I don't know if you all have been watching how weddings have changed, and people coming down, they're dancing. They doing line dances, and what is it, with the cowboys? I can't even think. What is it called? Ivan is working the camera, so I think I can ask him. He can probably tell me what it is. Are you familiar with what I'm talking? What is it? They do the line dance, but it's the cowboys, and they have
square dancing?
Not square dancing. What is it called? Somebody got to help me. Somebody, if you're watching and you're listening, I need to know what it is, because you are actually the photographer that takes pictures that has to have some kind of movement. If you,
Right.
you know, because for you, I think now, if you were hired to do a wedding, you would probably go into shock trying to, get them to do something exciting instead of just standing there and posing.
Man, if they hired me to do a wedding, the first thing I would do is find somebody to pawn that gig off on. You know, there's a lot of money in wedding photography, but the fact of the matter is that it doesn't interest me. And if you're not loving what you're doing, why are you doing it?
I tell people, because when we think about, the show is today's entrepreneur, we bring in goods and services that's good not only for the community of just, the Woodlands areas, but just throughout. And we are able to provide a platform whether you live in Houston or not. But the main thing is, and I've said this before, the integrity of 91.1 The Boss is to introduce our listeners and our followers to the services that mimic what we're all about in regards to the integrity of it. But also, most people get into business and we see the financial gain of it. And I've often said that when you do what it is that you love to do, it's not a job. It's you'll do it for free. If it comes with a price tag every time that you feel that you're called to do this, then that is not actually the area. Your passion is what you're going to pursue, and that becomes the thing. And I tell people, it's the thing that wakes you up in the morning and puts you to bed at night. Is you're constantly thinking about how can I get better at this. And so for you transitioning from, and your resume is vast. Going from all of the different areas in which you've communicated that you've done what it is that you do. This is your love. This is your passion. Am I correct?
Yes.
It shows. It shows.
It took me a little bit to find it. Like I said, I wanted to be a stuntman. I tried doing video. I tried all these different sports, but yeah, I finally found what it is that I love to do, and that's taking the pictures of all those other athletes, and making them look good.
I'm going to need some pictures, for some promotional things coming up real soon, but I can't do any flips. I promise you, I'm not going to be able to do any flips. I'll probably have issues even trying to lift up my legs. So don't ask me to do anything, fascinating or exciting. I'm just going to, but I still need you to get some good pictures because I love the quality of your work.
Thank you.
I actually said to you early on, because when people think about photographers, they start putting people in the category of the paparazzi and things of that nature.
Right.
You're not chasing vehicles and trying to get the shot.
No.
Have you ever considered going over in that particular arena? Because they pay a lot, from what I hear, for a picture.
Oh yeah, they'll pay tons, but again, it doesn't interest me. I like to take the picture of whoever my subject is. Whatever they're doing, I want to capture them doing what they love. So if it's a boxer, I want to catch them in the ring. Or at the very end of the fight, there's a split decision. The winner is the blue corner. The picture on that kid's face when he figures out, I just won that fight, that emotion right there, that's what I want to capture. If they're walking down the street, that's an everyday thing. Everybody does that. That's not their passion. If it is their passion, they need a new passion, but I want to capture them doing what they love.
I think when because we are in this new age of social media, everybody's taking pictures,
right?
But how important is, even when you are for what I do, being a public figure, how important is having the right pictures to promote your business or branding it?
I'd say it's pretty important. I mean, people are looking, at you. They want to see quality, right? If they see something that everybody else can do, what makes you stand out? What makes you special, right? So that's where the good photos come in. If you've got a photo that for some reason people see it and they're like, that's pretty cool, that's going to make you stand out. That's going to draw attention in. And let's face it, what do we need? We need publicity.
Correct.
Right? So you want to draw that attention in, and that's where, people like me come in. We get you those good photos.
Well, listen, I have Mr. Justin Deffner, as you all know. He has shared some wonderful things that I have never, ever, I'm meeting people in areas that I've never, ever encountered. Freelance photographers, probably just doing actual still shots and things of that nature, but the pictures that you do are amazing. Some of the events that you've had to cover, what is one of the, let me see, how do I want to phrase this? What have you seen that made you just say, wow, when you literally was, taking the picture at a particular event?
So as I might have mentioned, I work at a martial arts studio. I have a lot of students that go out and they compete. And I want to say last month we had this huge tournament, the second biggest tournament of the year. You know, it's the largest martial arts organization in North America, and this was a huge tournament. And I had students out there that were competing, and they won titles. You know, they beat the top 10 and, you know, the 10 biggest states around, and they won. They took first place, and capturing that moment, you know, capturing as they're going through their form, as they're sparring, you know, when they hear the decision, when they see their scores, their faces light up. And for me, it's not just I'm capturing that moment for them, it's I'm capturing it for them, you know, for their parents, for everybody in the studio, and for me, you know, as their instructor. It's breathtaking.
It has to not only do your heart good that, hey, I get to capture this moment, but I also have the opportunity to be a part of this process.
Yes.
So for anybody that would like to get in contact with you, can you give them some information so that they can not only reach out to you, maybe use you for an event, or just use you for something that they may decide they want to do that has to be something exciting? Give them your information.
Yes, sir. My email is DeffnerPhotography, DEFFNER, photography@gmail.com. My website is the same, DeffnerPhotography.tk, and then my phone number is 713-897-9293. If you got any kind of sports event and you want photos of the athletes in action, I got you.
If you want to glow up, blow up, you want some better quality of pictures in regards to any event that you're hosting, information, but I encourage you to connect, to contribute. 1.1 The Boss, today's entrepreneur. See you soon. Thank you so much for sharing. God
Thank you
bless
for having me.
Thank you so much.